everybody, it's Honest John again. Did you miss me? No, I didn't die. I went on the road. I went to Detroit Thursday, and then when I got back here, my computer and its router were messing up, so I haven't been able to upload videos. I don't bring my computer with me on the road anymore because if you have to check your bag, the computer gets bounced around a little bit. So, but here I am, I'm back, and this will be my first video in about a week. And last week 11 people got lucky. They were either pardoned or had their sentences commuted by Trump. Now usually when a president grants a pardon, there is a procedure that involves filing an application with the Pardons Office, which is at the Department of Justice. Or even when that doesn't happen, the president usually consults with the pardon officer to find out if there are good reasons to grant the pardon or not to. For example, if someone is likely to reoffend or is not remorseful, pardons are usually not granted because it's very embarrassing for a president if he pardons somebody and then they go out and commit more crimes. But Trump simply bypassed the Pardons Office in granting the pardons that he chose. He pardoned Rod Blagojevich, who was convicted of trying to sell Barack Obama's Senate seat. He pardoned the former owner of the San Francisco 49ers, even though he did not serve any jail time. He was convicted in a bribery case and paid a $1 million fine. Michael Milken served 22 months of a 10-year sentence after pleading guilty to insider trading and securities fraud. It was people like Milken who created the financial crisis where so many people got harmed. So if anybody doesn't deserve a pardon, it's him. He pardoned Bernie Kerik, a former New York City police commissioner, who served 3 years in prison for tax fraud and trying and lying to law enforcement officials about it. Ariel Fiedler, who had pled guilty to conspiracy to access a protected computer without authorization, was also pardoned. Paul Pogue, who was convicted of tax fraud. Pogue has donated thousands of dollars to Trump's election campaign, so we know why that happened. David Sefarius was sentenced to a year in prison for obstructing an investigation and making false statements in connection with Jack Abramoff. Remember him? The Wall Street hustler, the pyramid scheme. Now there were some pardons that I would support. For example, Tyrese Nicole Hull served almost 14 years on charges of possession, distribution, and of marijuana. Obviously, the whole social environment around marijuana has changed, so I think that Trump's pardoning her was pretty good. And Crystal Munoz was another one, served 12 years in prison for possession and distribution of marijuana and conspiracy. So those were good pardons. I have no problem with that. I would definitely support them. But you notice that most of the pardons that I mentioned were about corruption, tax fraud, and things like that. For example, there was a lady by the name of Judith Negron her 35-year prison sentence for money laundering and defrauding Medicare of $205 million was commuted. So the interesting thing is that most of these pardons were people committing the same kind of crimes that Trump is openly committing right now. And some of the pardons were not needed because the people that he pardoned only got a slap on the wrist. The people who got probation or fines, they didn't really need to be pardoned. But Trump has a lot of sympathy for corrupt people because he is one himself. And these are the kinds of crimes that Trump has committed in the past and is doing now. Thanks for listening. Well, I want to thank you all for watching my videos. But there are certain changes that Google has made to YouTube, which, since I'm a smaller channel, means that I can't monetize my videos. So I found places where I can. So instead of watching my videos here on YouTube, I'd appreciate it if you go either to Patreon or to Top Buzz. They let me monetize videos and I don't even have to put commercials on. So, if you want to become a patron on Patreon, that's fine. If you don't, you can still watch the videos there. I've just kind of given up on YouTube. YouTube is just a place that I use so that I can put my videos in other places. So, Patreon, Top Buzz, the links are in the description box. Thanks a lot.